So we both think Bosa's going to miss week 1 and the Niners are probably going to lose because of it. How do you think this Bosa debacle will get resolved and who will blink?
The Niners will blink. I think, and now this is a scenario where it's a hypothesis. We don't know. We're assuming he's going to miss week 1 and they may lose because of it. I think at that point the Niners say it's not worth it. We want to win, and they cave. I see this as the Niners cave. He gets what he wants. He walks into the locker room, not only a hero, but a savior.
Yeah.
The players are in love with him.
Yeah.
And they go on with the season.
He faced down the team, the entire team, and won for all of them.
And also, they couldn't win without him on the field. They need him. So he's the savior.
He is absolutely the savior. I think that's what's going to happen. I think he'll probably sign Monday. I think it's interesting. This is kind of similar to what happened with Trent Williams. They traded for Trent Williams, then they needed to extend Trent Williams, and they almost didn't. I don't know if it was John Lynch or Parag Marate or the Yorks or whoever, but the front office essentially wasn't giving Trent Williams what he wanted. Best left tackle in the game, can kind of name his price. He was going to go to the Chiefs. Chiefs made a better offer. And Trent Williams called Kyle Shanahan, this is all documented, and said, hey, man, I'm going to the Chiefs. Just want to let you know. Unless there's something you can do, I really like playing for you, but I'm going to the Chiefs. And Kyle's like, oh, is that the case? Let me make a call. So he called whoever he needed to call in the front office and said, get it done. And the Niners stopped playing hardball and gave Trent Williams what he wanted, and Kyle Shanahan was the one who essentially blinked. I can see that happening again. I mean, I don't think he's in charge of these negotiations, like, even though he's essentially the most powerful person in the organization. I'm sure he probably delegates this to Parag and John and everyone else in the front office, but at some point, Kyle can say, enough is enough. It's my team. Enough is enough. Give him what he wants. I think he'll probably do that if he loses a game.
Okay, Iggy, let's do the other scenario that he signs before the game. How would that come about? I mean, he could sign today.
True.
I mean, today is Tuesday, and the game is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 days away. Let's say he signs. He doesn't have to be in the building to sign. You can do DocuSign. It's all kind of things they can do. They can send a representative to meet him in Pittsburgh. All kind of stuff. He knows the plays. Do you think it's possible that he could sign this week? I'm saying it's possible. I
think it is possible. Like the scenario I painted with Kyle Shanahan making a call saying enough is enough. He could do that this week.
Yeah. Yes.
He could do that Friday. He could say, guys, thank you, Parag. Thank you, John. You guys did a great job. You really did it. But it's enough. Give him what he wants. I want him on the field on Sunday. Right. Do what I say. I hired you, John. Literally hired you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can see Kyle doing that.
Absolutely. So the scenario where he doesn't play and they lose is a hypothetical. I'd say it's more likely, but it is still, I'm giving 40% possible they work it out and he does play. But either way, it's the Niners who blink, not Bosa. Iggy, Bosa is in a much stronger position than they are, and he is adamant. It's clear he and his agent, who is really a hard guy from what I understand, are not going to move.
Yeah, and I keep coming back to the ego massaging thing you were talking about. If the Niners tried to do the opposite and knock his ego down a peg, I could see the Bosa's holding a grudge forever. I do. I mean, anytime anyone says anything not nice about me, I file it away for the rest of my life. I do. I hate it. So I can see Bosa being that way. I'm not like him at all. I mean, my ego is only the fraction the size of his, but it's big. It's real big. And Bosa's large. So I can see that. Oh, I'm an injury risk? Uh-huh. But you want me on your team, right? So now you're going to have to pay me even more. Thanks. Thanks for making that clear. Now I'm going to miss week 1 and week 2. And however much it takes, it'll be interesting to see if the Niners don't cave after week 1 and this goes on and on. It could go 7 weeks.
Well, Iggy, I think they'd cave after the first week if they lose. If they win, no. If they win, sure, they could keep playing that game.
That's true.
Come back. Iggy, may we come back to Deebo Samuel? You're saying other people talked about it, but when media approached Deebo, what was his affect? Was he dismissive?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's Deebo, though. He always, kind of runs from questions he doesn't like. So Kate Rooney, who's really nice, she works for Crown 4. And she just was the one person who asked the first Bosa. Everyone was getting Bosa questions. She just said, like, I forget exactly what it was, but how do you feel about Bosa not being here and whatever? And he looked at her and just went, I'm not touching that. That's what he said. It's like, thanks, Debo. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, let's just try to see it from his point of view. I'm trying to give him, I don't know him. In the past, I have not liked his behavior. I thought it was juvenile. And probably he didn't need to go like that. But it's fair to say I'm not touching that one because anything you say, you could piss someone off. You could get management angry at you or Bosa angry at you.
True.
And in a sense, he was saying no comment.
Yes.
Of course, he wasn't mature enough to say no comment.
Right.
So he did that, right?
Right. Yeah.
But what I want to say is, Iggy, no comment is a legitimate response.
It is. I guess the thing that frustrates me about Debo is that he could be so much bigger and more famous than he is. Like watching how covering Richard Sherman was very instructive for me. That guy spoke his fame into existence. He told the whole world how great he was and everyone had to pay attention. And he knew how to work the media. He was so nice to us in the locker room. He got all of us on his side. He had all of us singing, parroting his narrative. He was telling us what to say about himself and Jimmy Ward and Jaquaski Tart. Man, that should be Debo, man. You should be working us. You're smart, you're engaging, you're charming. But you're not. You should be working us the way Richard Sherman did because it only gets you more money. It's smart. More endorsements.
Yeah. I feel he's immature.
Unnecessarily standoffish. But I think a lot of football players figured out. Richard Sherman figured out immediately. He's a very smart guy. But most football players figured out in their 30s. And I did ask Jimmy Ward, did you learn? Because he went from being a guy who never said anything and tried to say the right thing to being a guy who said really controversial things on the record with a smile. Jimmy Ward. And he said, I learned that from Richard Sherman. You really need to be your own biggest advocate in this league. Otherwise, no one else will be.
He said he learned it from Sherman?
Absolutely. He absolutely learned. Yeah. So it's interesting. Something to think about.
Iggy, do your viewers know that you're going to do one show with Hufanga?
I did. I said that yesterday. Hufanga's really cool. Yeah. He shook I went over to him in the locker room and I said, hey, I shook his hand. I said, hi, I'm Grant Cohn. And he goes, I know who you are. I love your show. I get it. It's really cool. Nice guy.
And then, tell us. So what'd you say to him?
So I said, okay, I got a proposition for you. What do you say you and I do a show every week, once a week for a half an hour on my channel? I'll get the show sponsored and you'll get paid. And he blushed and he was like, oh man, he said, Troy really tells me I shouldn't be doing media. Troy Polamalu, it's his mentor. He just calls him Troy. Troy really says I shouldn't do stuff like this, but how about if we do a couple times? And I said, how about if let's just do one time? Can you commit to one time? He said, absolutely, man. We'll do one. Let's do it after a few games get underway. So we're in the season, but I just want you to know I really respect what you do, man. I get it. It was so nice. He's 23, 24. So nice guy.
Iggy, I love it. And you know what? It'll be an honor. And you two will do a wonderful show.
Yeah, Talanoa is a really nice guy. He's cool. Is this the difference between him and Jimmy Ward was Jimmy Ward when he finally came on my show, he was 30. He had reached that point where you talked about at the beginning of the show, players don't like management, players don't trust management. He was there. He understood. He understood they needed him, but they were going to replace him. Talanoa is in the stage of his career where he was just all pro. He thinks they're going to take care of him. He thinks as long as he just keeps smiling and saying the right thing, they're going to give him everything. And they may. But he's so young and innocent right now, But he's also a very, very nice guy who says he likes me. So I'm excited.
I like you.
Thank you.
But Iggy, you would say when Jimmy Ward finally came on, he was a little jaded with the 49ers, right? And did not like management very much. Wouldn't we agree on that? I
would have to say so. He understood the league, the team, the business exactly for what it was. And I really appreciated him for that. It's rare to find those guys on a team. They're all older.
And also, it's rare to find one with the courage to say it publicly.
Yeah. Remember, he got benched last year, and he talked about that too on his own Instagram Live. He was like, they were just going to bench me. I had to go into Kyle's office and said, I want my position back. And he's like, sorry, you can be nickel. And or you can play special teams and not play at all. And Jimmy said, okay, fine, I'll do that. I'll play special teams, knowing that Kyle would never put his contract on the bench. So, okay, yeah, let's do that. Jimmy's so cool. Sure. Oh, you think I'm going to melt because you said that? Yeah, bench me. Go ahead, put $9 million on the bench. Explain that to Jed York. I love Jimmy Ward.
So he faced him down.
Yeah. Oh, you want? Yeah. He's like, I love special teams. I'll be your best special teams player. Let's do it. And Kyle's like, okay, all right, nah. But Jimmy's cool.
Oh, but Kyle was trying to
have it my way or no way.
My way or no way, and intimidate. He was trying to intimidate him.
Yeah. Oh, you don't want to play? You only want safety. You won't play nickel. How about nothing? How about you just play special teams? Great, love it, Kyle. Let's do that. Let's do that. You tell the media why you're doing that. You tell the front office why you're doing that. I'm sure you'll sound really smart. I love Jimmy Ward, and now he's gone.
Yeah, and believe me, Kyle filed that away.
Of course. Yeah, I don't think Jimmy was going to get that extension after that. Well, now D'Amico got a really good player, and the Niners have Isaiah Oliver, whoever that is.